How are we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly. I'm Will, and today we're doing a little getting it played with Core of Discovery. So reached out to publishers, so they sent me a copy to play. We've enjoyed most of the off the play games that have come out, although we do still have the hidden movement game that we still haven't played, and it does have a solo mode, so I can play that on the channel. But I reached out to do this because they're running a second edition campaign right now over on Kickstarter. Link is down below, as long as a dual version, so a two-player cooperative version of the game. So I figured let's get this played, get you guys an idea of how it works. I didn't see anybody do the tutorial, and I figured I needed a quick game, right? Because it's a lunchtime stream. So we're going to go through the tutorial, the training mission, and see how this works. Forewarned, this does have spoilers because you're going to see where the locations are on the sheet, because this is a kind of a deduction game of what is located where, so you can complete the tasks. With that said, we're going to go ahead and flip over and give a brief rundown of how the game works. So we are set up for a single player game of Core of Discovery. This is the training mission, the tutorial mission. There are two missions, so this is, unfortunately, there isn't a number on these like there are with the regular flora and fauna missions, so I can't tell you which one we're doing. I don't know what specifically is different in here, so you can tell the difference, but if you see this is what it is. We have a Minotaur, we have making ammo, we're using Lewis, we have a compass. So these are the standard setup requirements. They also go through them in the back of the book. So there are things that you will remove from the game. So for example, our challenge cards here are only going to be the challenge cards for the tutorial. It doesn't include the others. We don't have a threat deck because the tutorial doesn't have a threat deck. It tells you to discard it. We don't have our hut because it tells us to discard that as well. And then we do not do the night phase except for revealing the 3 cards, but we don't do the additional items in the night phase, which is revealing new monsters and threat cards. And then we also do not have the what do they call them? I forget what it's called. It's basically your good stuff cards. Yeah, your destiny cards. So we don't have destiny cards either because, again, that doesn't take place in the tutorial. So in the training mission or in any of the missions, what we're trying to do is navigate through this area to find particular things, right? So why we need those things is so we can pass these challenges. Now, each challenge has an amount of time that we get to complete it. So for example, the very first one, we have up to 5 time to complete it. Time is tracked by us revealing the different locations, right? Each location or each thing that we're going to find is going to have specific rules around it. So for example, here, you're always going to have water and wood around each other. Here, you're going to have at least one vine in a, somewhere in a column. And that's what that symbol means. Here, you're going to have 1 wood per column and per row. So there can only ever be 1 wood. Mud is always adjacent to water and stone. All stone are connected to each other, but they are never going to be on the edge. And then this one here, which is like your camp, like a little camp hillside, not camp hillside. The hillside will tell you how many of, in this case, water is in a row or column. So that's what we're trying to figure out to complete our challenges. So for example, to complete this first challenge, we just need 1 wood. So we find 1 wood, we're good to go. These tokens are double-sided, so well, they're multi-use. 1, you use them if you get the resource, but 2, you can put them on a tile that you think it is, or know it is, or you can flip it over. I know the deluxe edition has nice chunky wooden bits, so when the second edition, deluxe edition comes out, maybe we will get that. I don't know else what they're changing about the second edition. I know one thing is when you're sliding in this card, that was kind of a pain point for some people. So I know they're changing this. I believe it's going to be more of an open close like book type mechanic, which I've seen in other games. Just did an unboxing for Reef. What was it? Reef Project by Dice, Board and Dice, Dice and Board. Board and Dice. Board and Dice. Just did their unboxing. That's kind of what they used, right? Is just a clamshell type design. But that's basically it. So it is a deduction game. We don't know what's in here. If we fail these missions, bad things happen. In this particular case, it says for the tutorial, we have to solve all 3 challenges or all 6 challenges. So I honestly believe that means that if we fail a single challenge in the training mission, we will lose. With that said, this is my first playthrough because again, we always do first playthroughs and first impressions. That way you guys get an idea. So there may be rules mistakes. You guys let me know down in the comments if I make some mistakes. For the tutorial, it does tell you to use the medicine. In a solo game, you pretty much kind of always want to use the medicine. You don't lose any points for having it, but it allows you to refresh your character or gear. Normally, you only get to refresh in the night phase. So this is one thing that was confusing. It says ignore night, but the thing is we still need to do the refresh and we still need to do the reveal new cards. So really, I think the ignore night probably should just say ignore night A, just the A section. So I feel like if you're not able to refresh your cards and you don't take the step to reveal 3 new challenges, you kind of wouldn't be able to complete things. So we're just going to ignore the, better not put that on there. We're just going to ignore the summoning more monsters because we can't. Now, what do the monsters do? So normally if you find a skull, you'll summon monsters or reveal a new threat card. In this particular case, we just have the Minotaur. Basically, if we want to do any type of exploration in a column or path that he is in, then we have to discard a resource or water to do that. So basically it's a cost for doing it in that same area. We can kill him once we get fire and a stone. To get fire, we need 2 wood or 2 stone. So not too bad. I think that's it. I will probably be referencing the rulebook a little bit because Yeah, right here it's got our steps, but it doesn't necessarily call everything out on the back of this reference. All right. So we do need to start, according to this, we need to start in column 7. So this is column 7. So we're just going to go exploring. Let us explore here. So that does not help us much. It says there are 3 waters in the column or row. So to explore again, we can use our cards. Exhaust before exploring. If you correctly guess the terrain, discard that path token. So instead of it counting as a timer Taurus, we can discard. We're nowhere near being able to do that. Lewis is exhaust before exploring. You gain a resource or water. You gain 2 instead. So, I guess we will just go. I guess we got to go a direction. So I don't know what anything is. So I guess we will just flip this one over. So that is a water. So we do get another water. All right, so we're up to 2 there. So I need at least 1 wood. So there's always a wood next to a water. We know that, right? Because that is the rule here. So we know this is going to be a wood and this is going to be a wood. So we will go ahead and put that there, put that there. Let's go ahead and use Lewis's ability. I got these cubes. Somebody else was flipping the cards, but I think I'll just use my cubes since I brought them out. And we'll go ahead and go here because we know that's going to be... Oh, that is mud. That was not wood. So that is not what we wanted. And we used his ability. So we get 2 mud. I wanted... That is 3. I forgot. So this rule applied. So, because this rule applied, we know these all need to touch. This is most likely going to be a stone. So we cannot pass through stone. All right. So actually it says that, yeah, it needs to be, mud needs to be adjacent to stone and water. So this one has to be a stick then. Well, it doesn't have to be. I mean, that could technically be a mud as well. So what are we at? We're at 1, 2, 3. All right, so we can get to 5. I need a stick. All right, so let's go ahead and use our compass to refresh Lewis. Now we're going to use Lewis to go here. I want 2 sticks. There we go. 2 sticks. So that will give us 2 sticks. We are in the fatigue. However, we do not do the fatigue until the end of day. We do have 1 food to feed them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 4. We don't have to complete that yet. We would complete that once we hit the 5 time. Let me just double check. That's how it does that. Okay. Solve a challenge card. Check to see if the leftmost... Okay, ending your turn. So when we end our turn, then we will check the challenge card. Hang on, am I ending my turn each time I finish an action? That's a good question. Explore a path and any number of free actions. Okay, on your turn. So basically, yes. So that was the end of my turn because my exploring is my action during my turn, and then I have lots of free actions. So, in my turn, this is now completed. I do -1 wood, and then I gain 1 food as a passing reward. We'll take those out. We have completed that one. Consequence. When revealed, -1 water if fatigued, and resolve any monster that has consequences. So, -1 water, because we are fatigued. And then resolve any monster that has consequences. He doesn't have, yeah, he doesn't have consequences. Place the Minotaur on the day explored skull terrain. If night, row reward, southernmost explored by path priority. Yeah, so he doesn't do anything. All right. So we do need to get stone and fire. To make fire, I need another wood. I just used a wood, so that's not gonna work. And we have to do this within 3. So we need a mud, a vine, and 2 water. So, oops, I forgot. It wasn't the compass I was using. It was the medicine to refresh him. So how do I get a vine? Vines are in the same row or column as a rock. So if we think this is a rock, then this could be a vine. We know this is a rock though. So let's go here because we know this is a rock. And if I have 2 rock or 2 yeah, if I have 2 rock or 2 wood, I can make fire. Yeah, so let's do this one. That is a rock. It is impassable. So because that's impassable, we would have to go around it to get to here. So we get 1 rock. And that's the end of that turn. So next turn... Oh, hang on. I forgot. In both of these, I should have discarded a resource because the Minotaur was there. So we would discard a water for that first turn. And for the second turn, for this one, we're going to discard the one of the muds because we only need 1 mud. So, right, 3 water. So we also need to keep our water up. So ways that the game can end is if we run out of water, can't pay water, or we can't feed ourselves at the end of the day. All right. So, all right. So let's maybe go here. Oh, I forgot. I should have used the compass on this because I knew what that was. So I'm going to use the compass, so then I could have discarded that instead of putting it here, since this is only a 3. And here we're going to need more vines too. So we know there's vines here as well. There's at least 1 vine. So let's go here. That is a vine. So that is good. So that is our 1 vine we need. So we have 1 vine, 1 mud, and 2 water. So let me double check. I know it said at the end of my turn check that, but I missed the part to say, did it say check to see if it had hit the threshold? Because I feel like I'm losing turns if I don't do every single one. Check to see if the leftmost challenge card has reached its time limit. Okay, so I did complete this 1 round too early. So technically I would have gotten 1 more round here. So let's take this 1 round that would have been here, and we'll just discard that because I should have done that. So we know that is there. It doesn't say vines are near anything else. No. All right, so I need 2 water. I got 2 water. So water is always next to wood. So this, I mean, it doesn't have to be water, but this could be water. So let's, I mean, it could also be a vine. So I think this is a good spot because we need a wood and a vine here. So we'll reveal that. All right, so this was the freebie because of me missing I missed a turn there. So that was the freebie. That does give us another vine. However, I do have to discard a resource because I have too many. So I need that. I need all that. I only need 1 food, so I think we're going to discard a food. All right. So here's the problem, though. My bag is full, right? So this is 3 times. So maybe I didn't want to use my compass yet. So we'll go ahead and put this one back. because I can't fit more in my bag, really. I'm just going to keep discarding things unless I find water. So we could go here. Go here, and this is water. But does it only have to be one of a thing next to a thing? So that's something I don't know yet, because again, this is the first time I played it, so I don't know if the rule applies all the way around. Here we can tell it doesn't, right? Because you have the wood and the vine, so we know that it doesn't have to be water next to the wood. It can be the vine, because the vine is in the row with this. So I want water. We know there's 3 water in here. So let's go up one and see if we can get us some more water. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. These are supposed to be off. Well, that changes things. All right. Pay attention to the setup instructions, Will. All right. So this is now it can be up to 3 in that row. I don't know why it says minus sun. Minus sun. I don't remember it saying anything in the rules about why it's got the minus sun symbol. Next challenges. Hillside. Hills do not found. You find extra information such as how many forts in the columns. And gain. Oh, and gain another turn. Okay, so we actually would have gotten another turn on this one earlier. Okay, so I missed that as well. So let's take this turn that I missed, which gives us wood. Gives us another wood. Which now I gotta discard something. Let's discard the. I wanted the stone, but I know that's a stone. Let's discard the. Technically, I would have had this earlier, right? Because again, I'm kind of unfortunate, I'm out of order. So we're going to spend both of these wood that I would have had earlier to gain our first fire. So now we have the fire and we have the stone. So we're going to do the fire and spin the stone to make our ammo, which gets rid of the Minotaur. So we don't have to worry about him anymore. Now we're taking our actual turn. That was a backtrack turn for me missing this earlier. So I need more water. So we're going to go. So yeah, this will be our last turn and then we'll resolve this. So water. Yay, water. Okay. So 3 gives us another water. Complete this. Mud, vine, and 2 waters. So this will be completed. All right, so this is completed, and there is no pass, so we didn't gain anything on that one for passing it. So this one we only get 2 rounds. We need a wood, a vine, and 2 waters. Oh, here, when revealed, minus a water if fatigued, and resolve any monster. So we're not fatigued anymore. We're good. So we do need more wood. So there's always 1 wood per row or column. So we know there won't be one here. There could be one here. Could be one here. But we need to guess correctly. So I think we're going to do the guess correctly on here because we guaranteed to get this one right, which means we won't take a second. Yeah, we won't take a second time when we go here. So we will do this. That's a rock. That is not what I wanted to come out. So. Actually, I'm sorry. It says complete the challenges. I was wrong earlier when I said we have to successfully do the challenge. We don't, because failing is still completing it. We just have the negative consequence. Unfortunately, this negative consequence is we lose a lot of water. So this says lose 3 water, or we can lose a resource and a water. Or no. Discard any resource. Discard any one resource or water. If you can't discard a resource, then you must discard a water. Where's that? We got to do both. Both of these take effect. So when you gain a reward, there could be 2 rows based on what you have. Maybe making fire and getting rid of the Minotaur wasn't the best option. So we need more water. So we know there could be more water in this row because we know there's 3, and we get another, and we get a free turn. So let's do here. Well, no, that's a free turn if we gain this, not when we gain this. Oh, where do I go? Let's go here. That's another vine. I don't need vines. So that's game over. that's already game over because I can't complete this at all. So then the fail is I lose 3 water. I don't have enough water to pay, so I basically have lost. That is a loss condition. Wow, that's tough. This is supposed to be the training mission. The training wheels were off already. They just put me out here without my training wheels. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know what I would do differently. Because I can't backtrack because I don't have 2 fires yet. I can't make a second fire. Yeah, that seems very harsh in a training mission for one of the challenges. Because, like, to find that much water starting here, I just don't see how that's possible. And because we need the consequence, let me double check the consequence. I think it says the consequence happens whether you pass or fail, which is what's losing me my water. After resolving the challenge card, regardless of whether you passed or failed, discard the resolve challenge card in the space supply board and all path tokens that were on it. Then you must resolve the consequence indicated on the revealed discard card. Each consequence will check if you're fatigued and resolve any consequence effects. Extra consequences effects are introduced later. So, yeah, because I was fatigued in that first round, because I didn't spend enough resources. Yeah. Now, again, because I misplayed at the beginning, I don't know. I don't know if I would have... I don't know if I would have succeeded if I would have had 1 more water. But again, when you're failing, can I choose? When there's 2 options, do you choose? Because if I can choose, then I can choose a resource to get rid of. So let me double check that. If you do not pass a challenge, backpack, or do not... if you do not possess the required items in your backpack, or cannot or choose to discard the required resource tokens, you fail the challenge. Follow any instructions on the failed side. You must always try to meet a fail consequence. If you're told to lose specific resource tokens but do not have that many, you must discard as many as you can back to a reserve. If you have none, there is no additional penalty for having insufficient, with the exception of water. If you're ever required to discard water tokens and cannot, you all die of thirst and lose the game. Food is not the same. The only time food must be consumed is the end of day. So, it says a fail consequence. So there are 2 fail consequences. Okay. So we can't do this fail consequence because we don't have 3. So we can do this fail consequence because we have a resource. So we're going to discard a resource. So then this failure happens. Okay, so we didn't lose yet. Okay. So that happens. Consequence, if fatigued, we're not. So now we do the night, even though it says not to do the night. If there are no monsters, we don't do that. Refresh our characters and gear. So we're going to refresh. Reveal 3 challenge cards. So these are the final 3 challenge cards for the tutorial. 1, 2, 3. All right. And unfortunately, it's 2, 2, and 2. That's crazy. We need wood, stone, and water. Same thing we needed before. Wood, stone, and water. Wood, mud, vine, and water. Huh. All right, we're going to keep... I guess we can go this way. Because then we can get this stone, and we can use the compass on the stone. Yeah, so let's go here. So that is mud, which we don't need yet. We don't need that yet. All right. So we know this is stone. So let's go ahead and use our, because we need lots of stone. So let's go ahead and use Lewis and our compass. And we know this is stone. So we're going to use the stone. It is stone. So we don't place that token. We get 2 stone. We don't need all that stone right now. So right now, I think we're going to spend the 2 stone. We're going to spend the 2 stone to... oh, salud. Salud. We're going to spend the 2 stone to make a fire. So this is our second fire. So now we have 2 fires. So that gives us the ability to backtrack if we like mess up, which is good. And we're also not fatigued. So when we have to do this, now we do need another wood. We know this can't be a wood because we've already explored the wood in this column. So we know this can't be a wood. So the question is, can this be a wood? Because if this is not a wood, we fail the challenge again, which again means we're going to have to discard a resource. Or we can backtrack. Fortunately, backtracking, my only option for backtracking is coming down here, which is not going to give me a wood either. Because this is not a wood. I do have my medical gear. Let's see here. This is next to stone, which we've already got. So I don't know what that is. This... oh, no, it needs to be stone in that column, which it is. Mud is always next to... okay, so we know this is water. So this has got to be water, right? Because the mud has to be next to stone and water. This has to be water. So let's do this. Let's use our medicine to refresh Lewis. And we're going to use Lewis to go here. That's water. So that gives us 2 water instead, which we're going to need because we are fatigued right now, and this is going to resolve. So that resolves. For fail, I can either do 2 water or 1 resource. Oh, hang on. I forgot to feed myself here. So slide you over. At the end of the day, I needed to feed myself. All right. So I have to get rid of 1 resource. I don't need the mud till way down here. That needs everything. I need this. I need the stone. I don't need the vine. Man, the two things I don't need are way down here. The problem is I will lose 3 water if I do the water option, because it's 2 water plus 1 water underneath. Do I just do the water so I don't lose these 2 that I need for here? Oh no, I'm not fatigued. Yeah, let's just do the 2 water. Do the 2 water, because I'm not fatigued. I'm not losing the 3rd water. All right, so we'll do that. There's our 2 time. That one is gone. And then we're not fatigued, so we don't have to worry about another water. All right, so this is we know this is gonna be wood, because there's no other wood in this column. So we know this is gonna be wood. And that's what we need for this. We need a wood, a stone, and a water. We have the stone, we have the water. So that is our wood. wood. All right. Now I don't know what any of this is. I have no idea what any of this is. We know there's a wood in here somewhere. It can't be, the wood can't be here, the wood can't be here, the wood can't be here. This could be wood, which then would make the last wood here. So this or this could be wood. One of these three is wood. So let's go. I have what I need here. Wood, stone, water. So I've got this one to pass. Unfortunately, there's no reward for passing, so that doesn't help me much. But this one I need wood. Oh, survive 2 days. I still need a food, don't I? Where do I get more food? Uh-oh. Where do I get in another food? I forget where to get food. I discarded that food earlier. Uh-oh. I don't think there's food on the map. I think that this one here is the food. And I discarded that. Huh. I discarded that earlier. Probably should not have discarded that food earlier. So now what do I do? I don't... There may be more food on the map I'm not aware of. I guess we got to keep going. Because otherwise, if I can't find another food, I've lost the game. Because I have to survive 2 days, meaning I have to still do this end of day effect, which is to feed myself. All right, so that's fine. We're going to go this way. So good. That is a stick. We needed a stick. All right. So there are 2 here. So we have a stick, a stone, and a water. So we have succeeded there. All right. And so we basically have 2 turns. We have 2 turns to find food. That's basically what we have. We have 2 turns to find food. We do have our backtrack, so that's good. Because we have the resources we need to complete this. But I need to find food. And again, I don't know if there's more food on this map. I may have screwed myself up by discarding that food earlier in the game. So let's just go down. Here. So that's mud. So I don't need mud, so I'm going to just go ahead and backtrack now. Mud we know will be next to stone and water. So we know this is most likely stone and water here. I don't need stone and water. I need food. So let's come across this way instead. It's water. It's water. All right. Yeah, this is last turn. So if I don't find food, it's basically game over. I'm going to go with, because again, stone can't be on this edge. Which means this can't be mud. This can't be mud. This can't be a stick. Can't be a vine, because vines can only be in rows with stone. So I think this is my safest spot. All right, here we go. Needs to be food. It is a campsite, which means we do not take time, so that was free. And we get to go again. So there's 6 water. There's 3 here, which means there's 3 here. We know there's water here. Almost guarantee there's water here. I don't think there's food on this board. I think I screwed myself up by discarding that food earlier. I'm thinking food is your most valuable resource, and I should not have discarded for food. This we know is water. Yeah, we know that is water. We know a stick is always next to water. So we know that's water. Don't know what these two are. I don't think I want to go up there. We know this is stone. I mean, this could be stone. This could be stone. Let me see here. No, this is probably a vine, because this is stone, this is a vine. Yeah, this is probably a vine. This is stone. So yeah, it's pretty much here. That's the only spot I can go. Let's see. See if I survive. I did not survive. I did not survive. So, we did pass. We have one wood, vine, mud, and a water. So we technically passed our last challenge. But let me double check that it just says I need to complete the challenge. It says survive 2 days. I don't know if survive 2 days means I make it through all the challenges or whether I still need to do the end of day. I think you still have to do the end of day. So let me double check in the tutorial and see. Tutorial. Survive 2 days. To survive, you need water. If you're ever required to discard water and cannot, you die of thirst, lose the game. These unexplored lands are unforgiving, but the search for water is far greatest challenge you will face. Into the game. You win the training mission if you resolve all 6 challenge cards. The land is beautiful and bountiful and worth exploring further. Of course, there's a minotaur roaming about, but the wilderness is a dangerous place and it can't get worse than that, right? So it just says I need to finish the challenge cards. So it didn't say I have to resolve the end of day to win. So are we going to say this is a win? All 3 challenge cards have been resolved. Proceed with the end of day. Otherwise, end your turn and pass play to the left. End of game. So here it says end of game. The rules will contain the objective that needs to be completed to win the game. Here it says the objective to win the game is completing the challenge cards. So based on the rules, it doesn't say I need to go to end of day. It just says I need to complete the challenge cards. So maybe I won, maybe I didn't. I'm going to think the reason it gave you the extra food is because it really wanted you to be able to complete that second time. Because I guarantee you there's no food. Yeah, water, rock, vine. Yep. So there isn't a second food. So I don't know. I may have won. I may have lost. You guys let me know down in the comments. Let me know based on what I read in the rules, what you think. So let's go ahead and do our first impressions. All right. Final thoughts, first impressions. First thing is components. I think the components are good for what they are and what you need them to use. This board is kind of neat in the way that it does slide in. You do need to make sure that you do it correctly to slide it in. There is another cardboard that you need to slide in with the sheet. I tried to slide the sheet in by itself. Well, no, first I tried to slide it in with the cardboard already in there. It was just a little bit too tight, and these are thin sheets. I do wish these were maybe thicker. Again, it keeps costs down. Also, it makes it so you can do print and play at home, so I kind of understand why they're thin sheets. Again, the second edition is going to fix all of this, so this is just what I can tell you about this one, right? But with both of them, then they would slide in a little bit smoother. Otherwise, iconography is really easy to understand. The rule book, it was a little hard to like follow in some cases, especially the setup. The setup is kind of telling you to do a bunch of stuff, but then your setup gets modified later. And I think this happens on a lot of off-the-page games, right? That because it's, not to say modular, but like each thing that you're doing is different, you kind of will start setting up the game. And then when you get to your chapter, you're going to take things out. So like here, it's talking about adding search cards, character cards, threat cards, challenges, adding in the destiny, like it's telling you to do all this. And like, I'm looking through the decks and I'm like, I don't know which ones I need to do or how I need to do. And then of course I went to the tutorial section in the back and then it finally says, oh, take these things out, set it up this way. So that was kind of confusing when I was first trying to set everything up. The rules themselves, I mean, it's a pretty simple game. So the rules do a good job of explaining what you're supposed to do and how you take your actions. I do wish there was an actual player aid. Like, this is nice, but it's not I don't know. For some reason, I didn't find it as useful as I was thinking I was going to find it. Maybe that's a me problem. The cards are nice. The tokens are nice. I do know that there are deluxe wooden bits that you can get with it, which of course is always fun to have deluxeified wooden components. So yeah, the components overall are good. The mechanics. So the mechanics is the hidden information that you have on the board and trying to locate and find those items, trying to overcome your challenges while taking a loss, right? You get different types of cards, different kinds of abilities. The destiny cards are additional things that can help you out on your journey. I think all of it ties in very well. The way that it works is really nice. So another game I'm going to be playing on Thursday is Tiwanaku, which is very similar, right? You have hidden information, trying to figure out what goes in which space to make points. The difference between the two is in that one, you are trying to make points. That's the objective, right? To have the most points. In this one, you're just trying to survive. Now, there is a score at the end. I didn't do the scoring because I mixed up my cards and I don't remember which ones I failed and succeeded. But you're basically supposed to add up your challenge cards together to get a score. Of course, we would have next to nothing in terms of the score because you don't have a lot of challenge cards you get to go through. Because the chapter doesn't have that many challenge cards. Overall, the mechanics are fun. It's a fun little puzzle to figure out. I was kind of struggling to know what went where, and it may be just because, again, this was a smaller tutorial training map, because some of the rules, I was still trying to piece those together. Like, how does this react to that? And I was thinking, oh, okay, if there's a water, then there has to be a stick on both sides. No, there's not a stick on both sides, right? There's a stick on one side, and now you got to go look at the stick rule. Okay, stick rule says you can't have any more sticks in this column or row. So once I started piecing those together at the very end, you notice I was able to find, oh, this is where these other items are as I was searching for food and didn't find food. Next is the difficulty. So I thought I had failed at the very beginning. And again, this kind of goes back to the rules maybe and the instructions. It doesn't, so on a success, and none of these cards have it, so I can't show you. In the rules, it shows a success and it shows 2 success lines. And it basically says, depending what you have. If you have 1 fire, you get 1 food. If you have 2 fires, you get 2 food, right? That's the success. But it doesn't really mention that in the failure, that if there's 2, you choose which consequence to take. Because for me, on some of these, and maybe it's only the tutorial, so we'll go back to this failure, right? On this failure, it says, okay, it was -2 water. Or I can -1 resource, and if I don't have a resource, a water. So technically, why would I ever choose the 2 water when I could just do this one and do 1 water? Unless it's saying, okay, when you minus the 1 water, you have to do the 2 water option because you can't do this. Like, that's what I mean. In this particular section, it's not clear. Again, in the 2nd edition, they may be clearing that up in the rulebook. Now that I understand that, fine. I know the rule and it's okay. But otherwise, the overall difficulty is a little higher, right? Most survival games it is. It's meant to be difficult. You're meant to lose. You're meant to fail as a learning experience, right? Because that is the experience you're trying to get out of this game. So the difficulty and even the training mission was a little hard, but it does give you a good idea of how the game's going to play. Fun at 2. Haven't played this co-op. This can be played as co-op, and you can do table talk. It's good for people that maybe can't see the puzzles, like where things might be. If you are good at that kind of thing, seeing where the puzzles are and where the stuff works up. Like with Tiwanaku, I started just clicking the second time. Actually, the first time I played it and the second time I played it. And so I was able to see those things when I was playing with Audrey in that game, and she wasn't quite seeing them yet, right? So then I was kind of showing her why I was figuring out what was where. So that could cause a little bit of alpha gaming because you might have somebody who could really catch that stuff. Because it's co-op, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas like with Tiwanaku, it's not really meant to be co-op, although there is a co-op mode. So I would say it probably would be fun at 2, depending how your play group is and how that alpha gaming might come across. For solo, I think it's a fun little solo puzzle. I say 50 minutes, but that was with me going back and through the rules and messing up a couple times, and now me doing the first impressions. But I think maybe some of these maps probably you can knock out in probably 30 to 45 minutes. The game says 45 to 75 minutes. I don't know if different chapters are different lengths. And there are more chapters than just what's in the box, so there's a lot of replayability there. Last thing is the theme. So the theme is the Manifest Destiny comics. I've read the Manifest Destiny comics. I didn't mention those to the components, but it has the Manifest Destiny art, which is beautiful art. Love the Manifest Destiny art. I like the theme and the stuff that's going on with Lois and Clark and the expedition. You feel the expedition, you feel the danger. So all of that theme comes through. The one thing I didn't read was the flavor text, but there is flavor text in here as well that kind of ties into it. So like with the training mission, it says, to ensure you're ready for the greater mission ahead, the president has tasked you to scout out the land to determine its viability for the upcoming expedition. This training mission will introduce you to the rules and deduction concepts used in course of Discovery during a brief introductory scenario. Core of Discovery. That is so fun. And then chapter 1, same thing. It's got a small little thing, but it's not like a lot of flavor text. And I don't see, yeah, there's no more flavor text here. It has something when you win or lose. It's got like a little sentence, but there's not a lot of flavor text to really tie it back into the comics. So I would like that. Again, Off the Page Game does a great job of implementing the concept of the comic into a board game. They do that very well. So if I were to make a board game based on the comic, this is probably a good way to do it. It's probably one of the best ways to do it. You have the dangers, you have the minotaurs, you have the different things that Lois and Clark were running into in the comics. You also have the additional characters that they run into and acquire, so you get more characters that you'll get when you unlock. So again, I think it's a good theme. I personally would just like more flavor text, right? Or like maybe in it says, okay, now that you have played this, go read the comic, right? Read these issues of the comic or whatever. From my understanding, this particular box, I think, is just covering like the first graphic novel, which is, I don't know how many issues are in the graphic novel. Normally it's between 3 seems low. Normally it's about 6-ish. So I don't know if it's 6 to 8 or 3 to 5. I don't know how many issues are in that first graphic novel. But yeah, that's the theme. I'm rambling because that's what I do. Anyway, guys, if you are interested in this or the second edition, of course, the campaign is going live. There is a link down below that you can click on, go out and support the publisher. Otherwise, you can always wait till retail. Retail, you just probably not going to get all the deluxe bits, but if you're fine with that, I do know that there is one of the map packs that was only a printable map pack that they are offering as a printed map pack. I don't remember if that's going to go on their web store later, or again, if it's only going to be available to campaign. So of course, go check out the campaign if you're interested in that. If you want to see more gameplay, more live lunch streams, make sure you hit the subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Let me know you liked the video. Saw any other rules, mistakes, let me know down in the comments. But until next time, guys, peace.